Welcome back, class 10, your civics class, continuing with the Supreme Court. Jurisdiction and functions of the Supreme Court. Jurisdiction is the power that a court of law exercises to carry out judgment, to interpret laws, and to settle disputes. So, what is the meaning of the word jurisdiction? Jurisdiction means it is a power given to a court of law by which that court carries out judgment, and the judgment that the court carries out helps in interpreting law. Interpreting means explaining and understanding the implication of law, and to settle any dispute disparity or difference. The Supreme Court has an exclusive jurisdiction, both original and appellate. It also has advisory jurisdiction. It is the final interpreter of the Constitution. Who will interpret the Constitution finally? The final interpreter, the ultimate interpreter of the Constitution is the Supreme Court. Original jurisdiction. Original jurisdiction extends to those cases that Supreme Court has authority to hear and decide in the first instance. Any case which is important and which comes to the Supreme Court directly in the first instance is original jurisdiction. Now, the Supreme Court in its original jurisdiction entertain suits. Suits means cases. In following cases: dispute between Government of India and one or more states. In one case, suppose there is a case going on where there is in one group, in one side, there is the Government of India, and in another side there is one particular state or a group of states. In such a case, in such an instance, this particular case will go directly to the Supreme Court. It is known as original jurisdiction. Number 2, disputes between two or more states. So there are two states in opposite groups. They are fighting, they are having a case, goes to the Supreme Court. Dispute between the union means the central government, and any state on one side and other states in one side. That means on one side there is the central government and any particular state, and other side there is one state or a group of states. So there are instances where there is a difference between there is a friction between the central government and one side, a state or a group of states in another. Central government on one side, a certain state with the central government and a group of states on another side, or between states or between group of states in both sides. So you can understand that anything or any dispute or any legal dispute between the government, central government or state government versus state governments, or central government plus state government versus state government, any government disputes is settled in the Supreme Court. Regarding all these disputes, the Supreme Court has exclusive jurisdiction. In other words, these disputes cannot be heard or decided by any other courts. The Supreme Court entertains suits from enforcement of fundamental rights also. The jurisdiction is not exclusive because high courts can also issue writs or enforce rights. So, during the enforcement of fundamental rights, it is not exclusive to the Supreme Court, because high courts can also issue writs or enforce rights. So, enforcement of fundamental rights is also very important. Original jurisdiction extends to such other cases in which the interpretation of the Constitution is involved. Then comes appellate jurisdiction. That means any case that goes to the Supreme Court via appeal in the lower courts. A court of appeal is one which may change the decision or reduce the sentence passed by the lower court. The Supreme Court is the final court of appeal. An appeal lies to the Supreme Court from any judgment or final order of a high court in India. So, any judgment which has been passed by lower courts. Lower courts means not high, not Supreme Court. High courts or lower courts that goes to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court can retain the sentence, reduce the sentence, or increase the sentence. Okay, you know there are so the case which goes to the Supreme Court via appeal is known as appellate jurisdiction, and the case that goes directly to the Supreme Court in the first instance is known as original jurisdiction. These are the main, the fundamental difference. Now, what are the cases? Constitutional cases. There are constitutional cases, civil cases, and appeals in criminal matters. Constitutional cases. So every high court has the power to interpret the constitution and issue writs for the enforcement of fundamental rights. So every high court has the power to interpret constitution and issue writs. However, on matter involving the interpretation of constitution, the Supreme Court has the last word. An appeal lies to the Supreme Court from any judgment of the High Court if the High Court certifies that the case involves interpretation of the Constitution. If the High Court refuses to give such certificate, the Supreme Court may grant special leave to appeal. See, what does it mean? If the High Court certifies that a certain case involves interpretation of the Constitution, the Supreme Court can, the case will go to the Supreme Court through appellate jurisdiction. Appeals in civil matters lie to the Supreme Court if the High Court certifies that, number one, the case involves substantial question of law of general importance and or the question needs to be decided by the Supreme Court. Okay. But there is no bar on Supreme Court's power to grant special leave to appeal in suitable cases. So, the Supreme Court can directly take it from the civil court or the High Court, or the High Court can certify that this particular case is of general substantial importance and it is as a general importance of law is there. So it should be decided by the Supreme Court. It can go directly to the Supreme Court. So these are the basic appellate jurisdiction. And during the appeal of criminal matters, there are two ways. And without a certificate of the High Court, that means an appeal lies to the Supreme Court if the sessions judge has acquitted the accused, but the High Court on an appeal from the government reverses the decision and sentences the accused to death, number one. And number two, if the High Court has withdrawn any case from the subordinate court and has convicted the accused and sentenced him to death without a certificate. And with certificate means an appeal lies to the Supreme Court if the High Court certifies that the case is fit to be appealed to the Supreme Court. So in criminal matters, there are two things: without a certificate of the High Court and with a certificate of the High Court. Now we come to another very important term in this particular chapter, which is just a minute, which is advisory jurisdiction. Advisory jurisdiction. The President may obtain the opinion of the Supreme Court on a question of law or fact which is of public importance. The questions must be specific and it should not be general or very vague. Vague means you don't understand. Now, the Supreme Court may report its opinion after such hearing as it thinks fit. 2 points need to be understood. First, the Supreme Court is not bound to express any opinions on the questions submitted to it. And secondly, the advisory opinion of the Supreme Court is not binding on the President. That means it is not a judicial decision or a judicial sentence that you have to listen. So this is basically known as the advisory jurisdiction. So question has been said previously, what do you mean by advisory jurisdiction? Now, a question might come that how can you say that the Supreme Court is the protector of fundamental rights? The Supreme Court is the guardian and protector of fundamental rights. Any citizen whose right has been violated may move to Supreme Court for the enforcement of the rights. The Supreme Court has the power to issue orders or writs in the nature of habeas corpus, mandamus, prohibition, quid curanto, certiorari for the enforcement of any fundamental rights. Now, in today's class only, we will go through the meaning of certain writs, namely the writ of habeas corpus, mandamus, prohibition, certiorari, and writ of quo warranto. But before going to that, question often comes: why Supreme Court is also known as court of record? Justify the statement that Supreme Court is a court of record. Supreme Court is a court of record. Why? A court of record is one whose judgments are recorded for evidence and testimony. They are not to be questioned when they are produced before any court. The judgments are in the nature of precedents. That means High Court and other courts are bound to give similar decisions in the similar case. Suppose a case is going on. A lawyer fighting for the case gives a reference to similar type of case which has happened long time back. So that reference is brought in front of the judge. The judge has to give his or her statement or judgment in the line similar to the decision which was given long time back. So it acts as a precedent. That means the High Court and other courts are bound to give similar decision if the case is similar. So it is a record, it is a reference. Then the second part of the article says that the court has the power to punish the contempt of itself. Okay. Now, PIL means public interest litigation, means that any public spirited individual or organization can move to the court on behalf of the general public. Now the thing comes, what is a writ? A writ is a legal instrument to enforce obedience of the courts of the orders of the court. The Constitution empowers the Supreme Court and High Court to issue the following writs. What are the writs? Writ of habeas corpus, mandamus, prohibition, certiorari, and writ of quo warranto. First, writ of habeas corpus. Habeas corpus in Latin term means you may have the body. It provides a remedy for a person who has been unlawfully held in prison or in police custody. The writ can also be issued where a person has been detained by a private individual. Understood? This is a very common question in your ICSE. Explain the following terms they ask you. The Supreme Court and the High Court command the detaining authority to bring the prisoner into court to explain why he has been held. If the cause is insufficient, the prisoner is at once unconditionally released. Second is mandamus. Mandamus, the Latin term mandamus means we command. The purpose of the writ is to compel an inferior court, means lower court, or an individual to perform their duty. The duty must be imposed by the Constitution or some law. Mandamus will not lie against a private individual or organization unless they are entrusted with a public duty. So this is mandamus. That means it is a writ which compels a lower court or an individual to perform his duty. What is prohibition? Prohibition is a writ issued to prevent inferior, means lower court, from exercising powers with which it is not legally vested. That means if a lower court is exercising power which is not legally given to that court, prohibition is issued. The Supreme Court and High Courts direct inferior courts to keep within the limits by issuing prohibition. Now, certiorari. The term certiorari means to be informed of what is going on. By this writ, the lower court is asked to hand over the record of a particular case to a higher court. Writ of prohibition, that means keeping without limit, and writ of certiorari both aims in restraining inferior courts, means the lower courts, from exceeding their limits. The difference between these two is that they are issued at different stages of the proceedings. When a lower court in hearing matters over which it has no jurisdiction, no legal jurisdiction, a writ of prohibition is issued. On the other hand, when a lower court hears the case and gives a decision, the superior court shall issue the writ of certiorari, which is because the higher court might issue it to see what is going on, to keep the higher court informed. The writ of prohibition is preventive, where the writ of certiorari is remedial. Now comes writ of quo warranto. This writ is directed against a person who has wrongfully usurped, means taken, an office. The office must be a public office, means government office, or an office of public nature. The treasurer of a society, for instance, is not a public office. So if someone has taken wrongfully, has taken someone's office and sitting on behalf of that person, that office should be a government office. A writ of quo warranto can be issued. The writ calls upon the person to show under what authority he holds the office. If the courts decide that the person concerned is holding the office illegally, it may declare that the office to be vacant. Now, another question comes: what do you mean by judicial review? Judicial review may be defined as the power of the Supreme Court to examine the laws passed by the legislature and the orders issued by the executive officials to find whether or not they are permitted by the Constitution. Judicial reviewing any law or any orders passed, that to see whether it is illegal or not, or whether it is permitted in the course of the Constitution or not, limits of the Constitution or not. If the court finds that the law or an order of the executive does something that is forbidden by the Constitution, it declares them null and void. The final say as to what the Constitution means rests with the Supreme Court. That is why the Supreme Court is known as the guardian of the final interpretation of the Constitution. See, what is the meaning of the Constitution? What is the meaning of a certain law, constitutional law? Who will interpret? Who will explain? The Supreme Court will explain. And whatever Supreme Court will explain, you have to listen. You cannot contradict it, because it is the final court. So what is the scope of judicial review? See, when there is a dispute between the union government, that is state, means central government, and the state government, or between states, the Supreme Court can decide it. The Supreme Court has the power to review all national and state laws and executive orders and declare them null and void, that means cancelled, if it goes against the provisions of the Constitution. The Supreme Court is the guardian of fundamental rights. It is empowered to issue various writs to enforce fundamental laws. Rights. So these are the scope. Why judicial review is so important? Because Supreme Court will control, ultimate controller. Okay. Now, significance is not that important. Limitation is not that important. Significance I am going through. Significance and utility of judicial review. There is no doubt that the legislature possesses the highest position in the democracy, but the power of judicial review has the utility because of three reasons. What are the reasons? First, ours is a written constitution. An article of the constitution or law may be ambiguously worded. Ambiguous means difficult word, double meaning, triple meaning, ambiguously worded. So naturally, the question of interpretation of the Constitution is bound to arise. So how it will be interpreted, it will bound to arise. Second, the Constitution has provided limited powers to the center and states. If the union government or the states go beyond their limits, a function of federal law, it becomes difficult. So who will control? Supreme Court will control. That say you're going beyond your bounds. Third, the legislature does not possess the ability or impartiality which are needed to explain which law means what. So it does not have the ability to take quick decisions also. This function can be best performed by a judicial body alone. But Parliament can amend the Constitution and override the effect of a final decision. So Basically, under judicial review, we can say that the Supreme Court is the final interpreter of the Constitution. It may declare laws and executive orders null and void. Limitations of the court and power of the judicial review. Under the judicial review, you have to understand significance and utility of the part of judicial review. If the union government or state governments go beyond the limit, the function of a federal government will become difficult. That is why judicial review is important. So, in this chapter, what you have to learn for your examination? Necessity of Supreme Court. Why is it necessary? Composition, qualification of judge, independence and impartiality. What is original jurisdiction? What is appellate jurisdiction? With the examples. Okay. What do you mean by advisory jurisdiction? Why Supreme Court is the protector and the guardian of the fundamental rights? What do you mean? Why Supreme Court is known as the court of record? What do you mean by What do you mean by the term writ? What do you mean by the writ of habeas corpus, mandamus, prohibition, certiorari, and writ of quo warranto? What do you mean by judicial review? What is the scope of judicial review and significance of judicial review? So with this, we come to the end of this chapter. You all know what you have to do. You have to write down the short questions and long questions in your exercise copies. In the next class, we will start with the High Court. So that is all for today. Thank you.